We're going to discuss Vanguard and the reasons behind their prolonged blockade of the ETF about Bitcoin institutions. Put out an XRP poll talking about XRP. Double up to the double digits. Let's see what you think. Crypto companies BlackRock, the fair value is XRP. Hold off until you observe. This is what we're going to hear from David. Remain seated as we discuss the opinions of Matt Hamilton, Schwartz, and the Ripple IPO and buyback. Here are some fascinating topics to consider, unwind, and let's start a Bitco. $427, up 7.03% over the last 23 hours. Ethereum will launch at $2,546. It's not up. 4.19%. XRP is down 3.6% with a mean lean of 58 cents. I just hate waking up. These Saturday mornings, getting up and telling everything is broken, it's terrible, has recently increased. Take a look at that. Top performer at the moment, increasing 0.13% to close at $1, while Tether remains stable at its dollar level total. People, cryptocurrency is worth $1.69 trillion. Lux Lions gang, these are selling out, so buy them quickly. There are nonetheless plenty that you must ensure you possess. We've completed 3 separate releases of the mobs you require. You are in the mob tier. Make sure you obtain a mob tier by using the NFT $165 credit card XRP. Get ready for the announcement, guys. I can only conclude that it discusses the burn. He says, burn, baby, burn, and adds, FYI, this flare is not in circulation. But a portion of the entire supply, taking into some members of the XRP community, decided to defame the group by organizing calls to burn Ripple's escrow while they were naively considering it. Will drive up XRP's price, and it won't, I'm sure of that. The escrow that is currently out of supply won't accomplish anything, and destroying assets that have been cryptographically locked for 6 years will not directly affect the price of XRP on the market. If these tokens were in circulation and destroyed, it would be a different story, but they are locked up. They're not going to do anything, guys. However, burning assets that are currently in circulation and openly usable puts deflationary pressure on an asset right here. Since they recently burned an absurd quantity of 132.5 million flare tokens, we can see why this flare is being discussed. The story keeps building and building. Ripple should burn the escrow once more. Explanation for that: those tokens will not drive up the price. Are not in the supply that is being circulated if they are not. It's as if they never happened in the first place, so burning them won't accomplish anything. The ideal scenario would be for circulating supply assets to burn, as this would induce a deflation of the asset. However, this is only possible if Ripple chooses not to put its tokens into circulation. Because if they do, you'll become inflationary, which is awful, and deflationary, which is excellent. The story as it is currently, the narrative surrounding the institutional desire for Bitcoin ETFs has failed, and it is now finished. What will they do after this? Everyone had the right whales right. The tail waits for the TFS to come. Wait for the first day of institutional demand to arrive. Once it does, the prices will skyrocket. Pass through the ceiling. Blah, blah, blah. Blah. I demonstrated for you in the day's first film what transpired, a small-scale Coinbase strategy. All of their stocks have dropped by more than 20%. There isn't any institutional demand. Not yet, but it is on the horizon, and institutional money will eventually arrive. When that money enters the market, you can imagine what will happen. We will travel to locations and pay amounts we never would have predicted. Why has Vanguard discovered that John C. Bogle goes first after years of blocking the Bitcoin ETFs? Over the years, Vanguard and Blee have diverged. Bliss disliked Bitcoin and wished to steer clear of it like the plague. Bonds and stocks work for you. Money isn't just what you pay for a commodity like Bitcoin, which is true. Therefore, I don't think it's surprising that Vanguard is acting in this way for philosophical reasons. After all, he's written a book about Blee and Vanguard and has worked closely with them for the past 2 years. Over time, Vanguard and Bogle have changed. At Vanguard, Bogle's DNA is strong, but they've made some decisions, such as investing in private equity. Bogle would never do that, but he was not fond of Bitcoin. In fact, he said that it should be avoided like the plague. Did I explain myself clearly? This is the reason, and this is something that I believe coiners or others working in this field need to realize. Equities and bonds are like stocks. Money works for you. Bonds have a coupon, and everyone gets up and creates value that is passed on to you through cash flow. It's not just about the price. That what another person is willing to pay determines the value of a commodity like Bitcoin. Furthermore, it's not personal because Bogle dislikes commodities in general. Even so, I believe that some of the populist spirit of Bitcoin aligns with Bogle's populism. There are a few instances of overlap. There appears to be a lot of overlap, and Bogle dislikes Wall Street fat cats. But he didn't like that it was a commodity in terms of an investment, so I'm not surprised Vanguard is acting in that way. Philosophically speaking, the remainder of them kind of act like, well, I'm not putting your salad dressing on the food store, certainly not on day one, and what are you going to give me? And that's how the wirehouses work. So no ETF gets up on these platforms, which I wouldn't call pay-to-play. That's not exactly a very fascinating statement on day one, is it? Here's the poll that I released, XRP, and I've already dropped this one, 112 votes. Notice that it hasn't been out for a few minutes at most. The price will rise to double digits for the XRP ETF. You're right, we're sort of 50-50 on this. I've been saying that an XRP double is conceivable this year, and that's before we ever got to the story about an ETF. If we get institutional money joining the market and going into XRP wills, I think it will be 100%. Here are the 112 votes thus far. 50.9 say no, and 49.1 say yes. I don't think an ETF is necessary to drive it to double digits. Other cryptocurrency companies could release this information publicly. Fascinating article that we have here. I recently witnessed Circle declare their intention to go public. We're in many of the according to the firms in the market, there will be a significant increase in cryptocurrency corporations this year. May begin to go public. They discussed this fascinating piece of writing. Here, Kraken, discuss Beto. Treaser, I believe that a number of these cryptocurrency businesses will go public this year. Due to the anticipation and the bull run. That will be 100% related to cryptocurrency. Larry, the CEO of BlackRock, considers the ETF and decides what to do next. I think possessing Ethereum will be useful if he leaves. ETF people, they're all coming. We have now cleared the path using Bitcoin. Everyone is aware of their responsibilities these days. It's straightforward to get an ETF approved. Just take the Bitcoin paperwork, perform some research, and replace Bitcoin with Ethereum. You found a new document there. You will soon receive permission. Yes, exactly what you want. An XRP ETF replaces all with a little control. Enter Bitcoin or Ethereum in there and replace it with XRPB. Here's an interesting exchange discussing the CTO sites of Ripple. They cite a lack of liquidity as justification for a massive buyback. Here's the whole threat. What benefit would it be for Ripple to conduct an IPO? Companies do IPOs to raise funding. Boom, ETFs are coming. This is going to be how the institutions get involved in crypto. Ripple doesn't need to raise money. Matt Hamilton said that he was correct. Funding is not required for Ripple. Typically, an IPO entails this. The market isn't liquid. The majority of the privately held company equity market is illiquid, which means David Schwartz stated, "It's a great thread, read through the drops and see what's there, after which we determine the fair value of XRP. Examine this range is what it is." This is a range if I've ever seen one. From $981 to $513 is the range of fair value. For the XRP price, according to Val Hill Capital, that's Jimmy Val's tiny group. Beyond there is a range. I'm at a loss for words. It seems like a range that will cover every pricing point that XRP could get to and still be correct. There will be that makes sense, but where do we fall? I mean, within that range, I'm giving speeches on you should visit Crypto Basic. Read it for yourself, but this is what's coming out in the crypto space this morning. That is correct. You did indeed hear me. The XRP pricing on Crypto.com was the most absurd. Error of $43,000 XRP. It's crazy. With other cryptocurrencies, you just don't witness price fluctuations like you do with XRP, but with 43,000, you keep seeing them.